Hello and welcome to part 5 in this series of videos. My name is David and in this video I'm going to take you through the unpacking and installing of batteries into the VaultFlex battery cabinet that we covered in part 4. Before we start, it's worth going over a few important things, as batteries can be extremely dangerous as they are always live. Even when discharged or referred to as dead, they can still pack a punch. So please treat them with respect. Now, if you're not sure what you're doing, please stop and seek advice. You have to be fully skilled to work on this type of installation. So, to be safe, you may require a hard hat, safety footwear, ear defenders, safety goggles, an overall and gloves to be safe, so please check on site for exact requirements. It's important to remove any personal items such as watches, rings or jewellery. Batteries like anything metal and they don't care if they discharge through a watch, a ring, a belt buckle or you, which can be fatal. So please treat them with respect. This video does not replace the detailed information in the installation manuals, so please read them and keep them to hand. Okay, so now we're all safe. Let's have a look at the batteries. Now, your batteries will arrive in one of a number of ways, either in a box or wrapped and on a pallet as we have here. However they arrive, check the delivery for visible signs of damage and inform the carrier immediately if you find any. If you're happy with your batteries, then carefully unwrap and retain any outer packaging, and then you can see your batteries as we have here on the pallet. Check for any sign of damage or leakage, and if you see anything of concern, then contact Enesys or your local supplier. So, everything here appears to be in order, so we can now check that we have the right batteries. Now, we'll be using SBS 170F, and there you go. While you're here, check that your batteries are clean and dry. And if they need a clean, then follow the advice on the instruction sheet. Do not use any type of oil, solvent, detergent, petroleum-based solvent or ammonia solution to clean the battery containers or lids. These materials will cause permanent damage and will invalidate the warranty. Once you've got them cleaned up, it's worth making a quick note of the torque settings given on the labels, as once the batteries are installed, they sometimes get hidden. So it's worthwhile just making a quick note. Or perhaps you could take a photograph. Gorgeous. So a quick count of the batteries and check that you have the right number of connectors. The first thing to check is the open circuit voltage using our old friend, the multimeter. For extra safety, you can test the OCV without removing the front terminal cover by inserting the probes through the holes in the top or front of the cover. Negative and positive are clearly marked. The reading should be no lower than 12.6 volts DC on a 12 volt block like this. If the reading is lower than 12.6 volts DC, don't fit the battery and contact Enesys or your supplier, as there could be a problem. Make a note of each battery's OCV reading against its serial number and keep this for future reference. Right, so we have the right number of batteries of the right type and the right number of connectors. So now it's time to load them into our cabinet. Now, this VaultFlex cabinet comes with optional battery retaining brackets for use in areas where there is the possibility of earthquakes. First of all, ensure the charger is turned off and then snip the cable ties securing the cable. These are only there to make sure they're safe during transit. Now, remove the nuts and washers using a long reach 9/16 or 14mm socket. and remove the bracket. And repeat this for the other tiers. So now we're ready to load the batteries into the cabinet. Now remember, these batteries are very heavy, so you're going to need a colleague dressed in the correct safety equipment to help you. And of course, make sure they've removed any watches, rings and other jewellery. Darren? And then repeat for all the other batteries. So we just need to refit the retaining brackets. But before we do this, have you written down the torque wrench settings from the front label? We need these for the terminal nuts, so if you haven't done it already, do so now. Okay, great. Let's refit the brackets. Now only hand tighten the nuts at this stage, as you'll need a bit of give in the battery blocks when you adjust the spacing later. Right, so let's get these labelled up. You'll find a sheet of labels in the fittings pack, voila. It's important to check the block surfaces are dry, clean and grease-free before fitting the labels. Normal accepted practice is that cell number 1 and block number 1 starts at the positive. So right to left like this. And now for a well-deserved cup of tea. Oh, come on. In summary, remember batteries are always live. Treat them with respect. If at any point you are unsure about what you are doing, stop and seek advice. Remove any personal items such as watches, rings or jewellery. Read the installation manuals. Make sure the batteries are clean and dry. Make a note of the torque settings off the front label. Make sure you have the right type and number of batteries. Check the open circuit voltage. Remove retaining brackets. With the help of a colleague, install the batteries. Refit the retaining brackets, but only hand tighten the nuts at this stage. Apply labels to batteries.